There's one bank account successful people have that you can start right now. Want to know what it is? Well, in this video, I give you one of my most effective tools for boosting confidence and creating influence. Because it's a bank account you must start making regular deposits into ASAP. So stay with me and I'll give you the one document you need to start growing an account for yourself. And for you who don't know, my name is Fortune. I'm the author of 3 books and a self-publishing strategist for established coaches and consultants who want to write a book and use that book to grow their business. I've created a proprietary method of getting your book out of your head in less than 4 hours using a phone and a few websites. Now this show teaches you how to do that and build the sales funnels to turn your book readers into clients and customers. Now, quote for you real quick, you can only withdraw what you deposit. Key phrase for you to understand right now. Many people don't make positive deposits into their mental power banks. So when they need to dig deep into their psyche for strength or courage or self-confidence, they quickly overdraw their account and their next step is quitting. Today, I want to teach you one of the tools that help me stop quitting and start winning in my life. They're called memories. And before we get into the tool, let me tell you how I came up with this idea. Back in recovery, I was taught to play the whole tape. What this means is to remember that the good times using drugs were usually just the beginning of the night. Because by the end of the night, or the month, or the year, I was probably feeling miserable, on the brink of death, or locked up. Now those final scenes are at the end of the tape. So when I started changing my life, I would only replay the failures from my life because failure had been at the end of most things I started for a lot of the previous years. They were the end of the tape. The irony is that my mind was trying to save me from failure by denying me success. At a subconscious level, I was in survival mode and trying to succeed meant stepping outside of my comfort zone. But everything outside of my comfort zone equated to pain and suffering and bad. My brain was said, let's not do that. Success is scary. And that's what my brain told me even though I'd been clean for a few years. I'd held a job for a few years. I stayed out of jail for a few years. I've been working with other people to change their lives. I've been speaking and telling inspirational stories that people thanked me for telling them. I've been paid for my advice and coaching. And I've read dozens of personal development books. I'd meditated and prayed regularly for years. I've been emphatically saying affirmation statements, walking around the house and wherever else I could say them. I've been journaling my thoughts and working on my character defects. I've been to many, many seminars, summits, and Super Saturdays. One day, I got to thinking, I done all of this work and still felt like something was missing. But it wasn't something another book or course was going to change. And when I doubt about my personal growth, I go to 2 places, the Bible and Jim Rohn. And on this day, I chose Uncle Jimmy. I listened to him speak to a group of kids about his journal. He said he spent $20 on an empty, leather-bound book because all the things he was going to put in there were going to make it more valuable than the money he spent on the book. Capturing his ideas and memories was part of his legacy and his success. So I decided right then to become intentional about the memories I collected. And it was periodically reviewing my thoughts and memories that reminded me of how far I'd come. So here's another key idea for you. Your subconscious sets the ceiling on your being. Whatever you believe is possible for you determines the effort you'll exert towards achieving a goal. But you have the ability to change your beliefs, as I spoke about in a previous video on self-storage. So I have a simple method for making deposits into your mental power bank and raising the ceiling on your being. You're going to create a powerhouse, and this is how. Now, what we're going to talk about is that bank account that all successful people have. It is a mental bank account of their success and how they're going to continue to achieving. And they have no problem making deposits into it and making withdrawals from it when they need it. So here's how to create your own mental power bank, which I call a powerhouse. First thing you're going to do is make a list of all of your successes. You literally want you to write down the memories that make you feel good, that make you feel excited, that make you feel powerful, that make you feel productive. Like, write all of those memories that you can recall down on a piece of paper or put them onto some type of storage document, whether that's in your journal, online journal, whether that's into Evernote, or whether that's into some other type of productivity app. I don't care what it is. Just get them written down on the paper or onto something that you can pull up and easily find when you need to, or when you need to review, which is step number 2. Review as needed. What I mean here is that there are 2 times to review your powerhouse, to tap into your power bank, this mental power bank. These are in the moment and between moments. So in those moments that you actually need to boost your own confidence or to step into the moment and do something that was challenging, you might need to be able to recall from writing it down. Just sit there, close your eyes and think about, I can do this, and I did that. And you build your own confidence up for yourself, or pull out this journal and just kind of flip through and remind yourself that you have been in similar situations and you pulled through those situations. Now, the other time to do this is between moments. Now, this could be just regularly, where it's once a month or once every quarter where you review your journals. I tend to do mine about once a quarter. And I go back through my journals, maybe from last year or from a few years ago, and just remember what I had done. Remember the trainings I'd been through. Remember that my ideas and thoughts that helped me get through a situation. And remember that on the other side of those things that I was going through, I survived. Not only survived, but some places I thrived because I continued to push through in a difficult situation, or what seemed to be a very insurmountable situation. I have those. Some of you may have them on your podcast or on your blogs or on your YouTube channels or whatnot. You have those situations documented, and that would also be a good place to go back and review those moments where it's like, I remember that, I got through that, to just continue to reinforce this idea that you have the power, you have the skill, you have the intelligence, you have the gut, the intestinal fortitude to push through adversity and find yourself on the other side with some type of success. Failure is part of the journey. Trials and temptations and trouble are part of the journey to success. You have to push through them. Let's keep a record of those so you can recall them when you need them. So number 1 is to make this list starting right now. Number 2 is to start reviewing that list. The third thing to do here is to grow that list. So what I mean here is to capture moments from your life. Notice I'm saying moments. I'm not saying go back and recall the entire day, putting everything down. But some of those of you who are closer to my age, who grew up in the 80s and 90s, you will probably remember a show about Doogie Howser. And part of the premise for that show is about how Doogie Howser would document his day at the end of every episode. What did he learn from becoming an MD so young? So those moments in his day and in his life were documented, and we were being part of that, and how he overcame those things. You're going to be creating a similar type of journal for yourself. You're documenting how you became successful. Those successes that you had are part of your path, and you can look back and remember, success leaves clues. And now you're creating those clues, you're leaving those clues for yourself to remind yourself on how to continue moving forward in the moments and in between those moments, so you don't lose momentum. Okay, so capture moments from your life. Those are the 3 things to do to build your powerhouse. That's it. It's very simple. And because it's so simple to do, another quote from Jim Rohn it's simple to do, it's also simple not to do. All right, so you want to do something like this for yourself to start building this up. Even if you're not going to use it as much for yourself because you feel like you're in a confident place, it is still good to have it for your legacy, for your children, or for when it's time for your need to create the next speech or to have a difficult conversation with a mentee or someone that you really cherish. You now have this storehouse of your memories to support you and support what you're having to say in that moment. You can pull it up and say, I remember a time I went through this, and that, because those stories are the best way to start connecting with individuals, for them to open their minds, open their ears to what you have to say, and close their mouth while they're listening. All right, so those three things again: make a list, review as needed, and then grow your list. Now, I want to give a warning here that do not get stuck in the past. Don't be that person that remembers from high school when you used to do that one thing really, really well and everyone used to love you, but now your life has changed. You're no longer in high school. You're no longer in that isolated bubble of people who are focusing on you. So you're still living off of those past victories. One of the goals of having this powerhouse is that you continue to grow it. You continue to add things to it. You're using it to continue becoming who you are designed and who you are destined to become. But not getting stuck and like, oh, I used to be able to do that and I can't do it now. Don't just continue to live in the past, okay? So that's a warning I feel like I need to throw out there. So with that being said, are you ready to create your own powerhouse? I got to ask that question, because if you are ready to create your own powerhouse and use this to continue building up your own self-confidence and start stepping into your own successes, and I mentioned influence, and I want to touch on that very briefly. The idea of influence is generated through some of your communication. Now, we have verbal communication and we have nonverbal communication. A person who speaks loudly does not mean they are going to necessarily be influential. But someone that speaks with conviction and power and confidence does generate influence. The nonverbal cues are the way you carry yourself. And if you walk into a room with a certain type of energy that you have the confidence of doing whatever it is that you came in there to do, then it conveys some type of influence. When you are sitting across from someone, either on camera or in person, and you are speaking with them, your nonverbal communication comes through because you have this powerhouse, this storehouse of memories that you overcame this situation, or you helped other people in similar situations to achieve their goal. And that becomes influential. So yes, this powerhouse, making deposits into your mental bank, is a way of creating influence and developing your ability to persuade people. Okay. So I forgot to mention that. So now you have it. Use your powerhouse. And if you want to create your own, I do have a document that I can get to you. I can send you a copy of this free tool, right? For you to start documenting and at least have a template for you to start creating and capturing these memories for yourself. Otherwise, just start doing them. Now, one question I will have for you. Here's what I want to hear from you. What is your most recent success? I don't care how small it is. What is your most recent success? I want to hear from you. Go ahead and put that down in the comments. I love to see how life is going well for you. It could be today. It could have happened yesterday. It could have happened last week or last month. I don't care. What is your most recent success? I want to hear from you. Give me a little story. Give me like a 3-sentence story about what happened and why you're so proud of that. Okay? That being said, y'all, you can be, you can do, you can have anything you want in this world. You just got to believe. You can live a life of no doubt, just blessings. I will show you how. And always remember, you're only one book away from the next breakthrough in your life or in your business. So go out there and make life happen every day. God bless. I'll talk to you next time.